Welcome to part 15 of 1 hour of curious facts of Zarpado. Don't forget to subscribe. We're already starting with the surprising data. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest machine, located in a 17 miles wide tunnel on the border between France and Switzerland. This colossal particle accelerator makes it possible to recreate conditions similar to those of the Big Bang, providing valuable data on the origins of the universe. The oldest tree in the world is a pine called Methuselah, found in the White Mountains of California, USA. At over 4,800 years old, this incredible tree has survived millennia of climatic and environmental changes. When considering the height from base to summit, a volcano in Hawaii called Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in the world. Although it only rises 13,800 feet above sea level, most of Mauna Kea is submerged beneath the ocean. From its base on the seabed to its summit, Mauna Kea reaches an impressive total height of approximately 33,464 feet, thus surpassing Everest. The first product to be scanned with a barcode was a pack of Wrigley's gum at a supermarket in Ohio, USA, in 1974. The spacesuit used by astronauts on the International Space Station cost an estimated $12 million. The suit, known as an extravehicular mobility unit, is designed to protect astronauts from the extreme conditions of outer space, including the lack of atmosphere, temperatures that can range from -258 to 248 degrees Fahrenheit, and solar radiation. India is the world's largest producer of films, with more than 1,800 films produced each year, far outstripping Hollywood. The heart of the Indian film industry is in Mumbai, home to Bollywood, the most famous center of Hindi film production. An iconic example of the global impact of Indian cinema is Slumdog Millionaire, a film inspired by life in the slums of Mumbai. In 1827, Norway, in a remarkable act of international solidarity, decided to pay off the foreign debt of Greece, which was fighting for its independence from the Ottoman Empire. During the 1900 Olympic Games in Paris, an event that was already special as it was the first time the Games were held outside Greece, a discipline was introduced. The hot air balloon competition at the 1900 Games involved 24 participants from 6 different countries who competed in various events such as distance traveled, flight time, and accuracy in landing at a given point. The Greenland shark is known to be the longest-lived vertebrate recorded on the planet. Some studies suggest that these impressive animals can live for over 400 years and reach sexual maturity at around 150 years of age, contributing to their exceptional longevity. Bhutan is the only country in the world to have implemented a complete ban on tobacco, covering both sales and consumption. The ban, which came into effect in 2004, is one of the most radical measures taken to combat smoking, reflecting Bhutan's concern for public health and the quality of life of its citizens. Nauru, a small island republic located in the Central Pacific, holds the title of the smallest republic in the world, covering an area of just 13 square miles. The Statue of Liberty, one of the most iconic monuments in the United States, was originally reddish-brown due to its copper construction. Unveiled in 1886, this iconic statue was a gift from France to the United States to commemorate the centennial of American independence and to symbolize the friendship between the two nations. The copper, the material with which the statue is clad, gave it a bright reddish color at first. Over time, the copper of the statue began to oxidize, with a color change, which was not instantaneous. It took approximately 30 years to complete. Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of Egypt and lived closer in time to the construction of the first McDonald's than to the construction of the pyramids of Giza. On the Canary island of La Gomera, Spain, there is a fascinating whistled language known as Silbo Gomero. This unique language has been used for centuries by the inhabitants of the island to communicate across the deep and steep ravines that characterize the Gomera landscape. The need for an effective form of communication in rugged, mountainous terrain led to the development of this whistling system, which can be heard at distances of up to 5 kilometers, facilitating the exchange of messages across valleys and between mountains. Greenland, despite being the largest island in the world, is an autonomous territory under the sovereignty of the Kingdom of Denmark. Greenland gained its autonomous status in 1979 with the introduction of the Home Rule Act, which granted the island a significant degree of self-government, allowing its local government to control aspects such as education, healthcare, and natural resources. However, defense and foreign policy remain within the purview of the Kingdom of Denmark. Singapore is one of the few countries in the world that is a city-state, meaning that the city and the country are one and the same. In 1911, British explorer George Murray Leavitt undertook an expedition to Antarctica as part of the famous Terra Nova expedition led by Robert Falcon Scott. During this expedition, Leavitt, a renowned naturalist and biologist, closely studied the life and behavior of the Adelie penguins. Among the behaviors he found particularly scandalous were unconventional sexual practices, such as homosexual copulation and harassment among the penguins. The Caspian Sea, located between Europe and Asia, is the largest lake in the world, both in terms of surface area and volume. Its area exceeds 230,528 square miles, making it considerably larger than Japan. Although it is called a sea, its status as a lake is due to the lack of connection to the oceans, but its large size and salt water contribute to its designation. The Korean alphabet, called Hangul, is one of the most efficient alphabets in the world. It was created in the 15th century by King Sejong and a group of scholars to improve literacy in Korea. Each letter is designed to represent the shape of the mouth when pronouncing it. During World War II, more than 70 Allied prisoners of war managed to escape from a German camp using a hand-dug tunnel. The feat inspired the film The Great Escape, starring Steve McQueen, James Garner, and Richard Attenborough. In Norway during the winter, the sun does not rise in some regions, such as Tromsø, where the phenomenon known as polar night is experienced. This period of prolonged darkness lasts from late November to mid-January, immersing the region in a twilight atmosphere. In contrast, during the summer, Tromsø enjoys the midnight sun, a phenomenon in which the sun remains visible 24 hours a day, from late May to mid-July. Iceland is one of the few countries in the world that does not have a military. Instead of maintaining a military of its own, the country relies on collective defense provided by NATO to ensure its security. Snail races are an unusual and popular pastime in some regions of England, particularly Norfolk. In this peculiar event, participants place snails in the center of a circle drawn on the ground, and the first to reach the edge of the circle is declared the winner. In ancient Greece, the Olympics were held to pay tribute to Zeus, the main god of the Greek pantheon. These sporting competitions were a central event in Greek culture and were held at the sanctuary of Olympia. Back then, only men were allowed to take part in the games, and they competed completely naked, a symbol of their dedication and discipline. Women were excluded from the competitions and could not attend the events, even as spectators, reflecting the strict gender norms of the time. The first World Cup was held in 1930 in Uruguay, marking a milestone in the history of the sport. The tournament was organized by FIFA and featured 13 teams. Uruguay, as the host country, not only had the honor of hosting the event, but was also crowned champion by beating Argentina 4-2 in the final. The cone snail, known for its stunning beauty, is one of the most venomous animals in the world. Its sting, delivered through a specialized tooth, can be lethal to humans, and there is currently no known antidote to counteract its effects. Despite its danger, the cone snail's venom is the subject of intense scientific study due to its potential medical applications. The panda bear begins life in a surprisingly fragile way. Newborn pandas are incredibly small, weighing only around 0.22 pounds, which is about the weight of a teacup. This diminutive size contrasts dramatically with their weight as adults, when they can weigh up to 352 pounds. The Apollo guidance computer, used during the mission that landed man on the moon in 1969, had remarkably limited processing power compared to today's technology. With computing power less than that of an average smartphone today, this computer played a crucial role in the navigation and control of the lunar module. The Manhattan Project was an ambitious research and development effort that created the first atomic bombs during World War II. Led by the United States, this project marked a milestone in the history of science and technology with the construction of nuclear weapons. However, many of the scientists involved, including prominent physicists such as Albert Einstein, experienced deep regret for their involvement. Casu marzu is a traditional Sardinian cheese known for its unusual ingredient, live fly larvae. This cheese, which is fermented until it is partially broken down by larvae, is considered a delicacy in the region due to its distinctive flavor. However, its use is banned in many European Union countries due to health concerns and risks associated with consuming live larvae. Liechtenstein, one of the smallest countries in the world, is famous for its safety and tranquility, to the point that its inhabitants often leave their doors unlocked. Furthermore, during World War I, Liechtenstein demonstrated its unique character by sending a small army of just 80 men to patrol the border. Interestingly, the soldiers returned with an extra member as they made a friend along the way. In Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, a groundhog known as Punxsutawney Phil has become an iconic figure in the celebration of Groundhog Day every February 2. According to tradition, Phil predicts the weather forecast for the rest of the winter by watching to see his shadow as he emerges from his burrow. If he sees his shadow, it is believed that winter will last 6 more weeks. If he doesn't, spring will arrive soon. The first selfie recorded in history was taken in 1839 by Robert Cornelius, a pioneer of photography in the United States. At a time when photography was still a primitive process, Cornelius placed his camera on a tripod and stood in front of it for several minutes to capture his own image. Bran Castle, popularly known as Dracula's Castle, is located in Romania and is shrouded in an atmosphere of mystery. Although it was never the home of the historical Vlad the Impaler, the figure who inspired the legend of Dracula, the castle has captured the imagination of many due to its association with Bram Stoker's famous novel. Watermelon is native to Africa and was first domesticated in Egypt over 5,000 years ago. In its original version, it was bitter and used primarily for its medicinal properties rather than its taste. The Kingdom of Tonga is notable for being the only Pacific country never to have been colonized by a foreign power. During the era of colonialism, Tonga managed to preserve its independence and autonomy, thus maintaining its sovereignty in the face of the imperial ambitions of European powers. The Bridge of Sighs in Venice, Italy, is famous for its evocative name, but its association with romance is rather a myth. The name comes from the belief that prisoners crossing the bridge would often sigh as they saw their last view of the outside world before being imprisoned. This stone bridge, which connects the Doge's palace to the former prison cells, has witnessed countless moments of hopelessness and resignation over the centuries. In 1971, in a house in Belmez, Spain, mysterious faces began to appear on the cement floor. These unexplainable images emerged seemingly spontaneously, and despite numerous attempts to remove them, the faces kept reappearing over time. This phenomenon, known as the Faces of Belmez, attracted the attention of researchers, media, and tourists, becoming an enigmatic attraction that has endured for decades. The Ishtar Gate, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was an impressive structure built in Babylon around 575 BC. This majestic portal was adorned with vibrant blue glazed tiles, and its walls were decorated with intricate depictions of dragons and bulls, symbols of power and divinity in ancient Mesopotamia. International Klingon Language Day is celebrated on April 9th to honor the fictional language created for the Klingon alien race in the television series Star Trek. Despite being a constructed language, Klingon has gained popularity and has an active community of speakers. Not only has the language been used in various productions of the franchise, but it also features translations of literary works, such as Hamlet, demonstrating its cultural impact. The last silver dollar coin to circulate in the United States was minted in 1935. These coins, known as peace dollars, commemorated the end of World War I. Manuka honey is a special variety of honey produced in New Zealand and Australia, derived from the nectar of the Manuka bush. Unlike other honeys, it is credited with superior antibacterial properties thanks to a unique compound called methylglyoxal. Caviar is widely considered one of the most exclusive and expensive delicacies in the world. Its luxury status is due to its rarity and the complicated production process, which involves the extraction of sturgeon eggs. The most expensive caviar is almas caviar, which comes from the albino beluga sturgeon, an extremely rare species. This type of caviar can fetch impressive prices, costing up to $13,000 per pound. Sacher-Torte is an iconic Austrian dessert created in 1832 by pastry chef Franz Sacher for Prince Clemens von Metternich. This exquisite cake is made up of a dense, soft chocolate sponge cake topped with a thin layer of apricot jam that adds a hint of sweetness and acidity. The cake is finished off with a luxurious layer of chocolate glaze, which gives it a shiny, decadent finish. Monaco, with an area of just 1.25 square miles, is the second smallest country in the world, surpassed only by the Vatican. Its size is so small that it is even smaller than New York's Central Park. During American independence, the Liberty Bell, located in Philadelphia, was initially known simply as the Independence Bell. It was an important symbol during the signing of the Declaration of Independence, ringing to announce the event. Francisco Pizarro, the celebrated Spanish conquistador who led the defeat of the Inca Empire, met his tragic end in 1541. He was assassinated by a rival faction within his own group in an act that reflected the growing distrust and intrigue among the Spanish conquistadors. His death not only meant the end of his ambitious career, but also marked the collapse of a tumultuous period in Peru's history. In a group of just 23 people, there is a greater than 50% chance that two people share the same birthday. This is because of the way we combine the probabilities in a small group. In Japan, the Arashiyama bamboo forest offers a unique and unforgettable experience for those who visit it. Located on the outskirts of Kyoto, this forest is characterized by tall, dense bamboo that reaches up into the sky, creating a stunning natural tunnel of emerald green. Walking among these majestic stems provides a sense of peace and tranquility, getting away from the hustle and bustle of urban life. The Piri Reis map, created in 1513 by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, is one of the most enigmatic cartographic documents in history. This ancient map of the world is notable for its astonishing accuracy in depicting the coasts of South America and, surprisingly, part of Antarctica, a region that should not have been known at the time. The Baseball Hall of Fame, located in Cooperstown, New York, was founded in 1939 to honor the sport's most outstanding players, coaches, and contributors. This museum has become a major center for baseball history, celebrating the evolution of the game and its heroes. However, there is a controversial theory that suggests that baseball did not originate in America, but in England. This theory posits that the game has roots in ancient British games, such as rounders, which could have influenced the development of modern baseball. The gold medals awarded at the Olympics are not made entirely of gold, despite their golden appearance. In fact, they contain only 1.34% gold. The rest of the medal is composed primarily of silver, with a base metal forming the core. Cows have been shown to produce more milk when listening to classical music. Research has revealed that relaxing music, especially soft, calm tunes, can help reduce stress in cows. Less stress leads to increased milk production as cows feel more comfortable and calm in their environment. Himalayan salt, with its distinctive pink color, comes from ancient salt deposits in the Himalayan region. It has been popularized for its supposed health benefits and its richness in over 80 minerals. Despite these claims, its chemical composition is quite similar to common table salt, with a high concentration of sodium chloride. In Chinese cuisine, bird's nest is a unique and prized ingredient used in bird's nest soup. Unlike what its name might suggest, these nests are not made from branches but from dried swallow saliva. The birds use their saliva to build these nests in caves and cliffs. Once dried, the nests have a gelatinous texture that becomes a delicate and highly valued delicacy in Chinese gastronomy. This soup is believed to have nutritive and rejuvenating properties, which explains its high price and luxury status in cuisine. The Vatican owns its own mint, known as the Vatican Stamp and Coin Office, which is responsible for producing exclusive coins for the Papal State. These coins, issued in various denominations, are widely collected and often have a numismatic value greater than their face value. The first film in history is Roundhay Garden Scene, filmed in 1888 by French inventor Louis Le Prince. The film lasts only 2.11 seconds and shows 4 people walking in a garden. Sea turtles can sleep while swimming, using a phenomenon called sleep swimming, where they alternate using their muscles to keep themselves moving while resting. Blue light, emitted by mobile phone and computer screens, can affect sleep and the production of melatonin in the body. It is advisable to avoid exposure to this light before sleeping to improve sleep quality. The Guinness Book of Records was created in 1955 by Sir Hugh Beaver, who was the director of the Guinness Brewery, with the aim of settling disputes about records that arose in pubs. Originally conceived as a tool to settle debates about extraordinary data and achievements, the book has evolved into an annual publication that documents an impressive array of records and achievements in multiple categories. Bees are responsible for the pollination of about 75% of flowering plants, playing a crucial role in food production. During the pollination process, bees visit flowers in search of nectar, which they use as food. On their way from flower to flower, they carry pollen attached to their bodies, which facilitates the transfer of pollen between flowers of the same species. This process is essential for the fertilization of flowers and the production of fruits and seeds. Although apple pie is often associated with the United States, its roots are believed to lie in Europe. The most expensive vegetable is authentic wasabi, a Japanese species that comes from the Wasabia japonica plant. Unlike commercial versions that are usually mixtures of horseradish and coloring, true wasabi is obtained from the root of this plant. Growing wasabi is a complicated and demanding process and can reach prices of up to $250 per pound in specialized markets. Seychelles is famous for its dream beaches, and one of the most iconic is Anse Source d'Argent. Located on La Digue, one of the islands of the archipelago, this beach stands out for its impressive granite formations that stand like huge rounded rocks, contrasting with the fine white sand. Located in Cambodia, Angkor Wat is the largest religious temple in the world, covering an area of more than 162 hectares. Originally built in the 12th century as a Hindu temple dedicated to the god Vishnu, Angkor Wat was transformed into a Buddhist temple as Buddhism took hold in the region. In Tsarist Russia, a law was established that prohibited the sale of beer after 10 p.m. This measure was implemented in order to prevent workers from getting drunk and consequently failing their task the next day. Corn was not always yellow. In its origins, corn varieties were of very diverse colors, including red, black, and purple. This corn of varied colors was cultivated by ancient civilizations in America. The yellow corn we know today did not emerge until later, through the selection and breeding of varieties that favored this color. Japan is famous for its hot springs known as onsen. The country has more than 3,000 hot springs, which are found in various regions, from mountains to coastal areas. Hot springs not only offer relaxation and physical well-being, but are also a fundamental part of Japanese culture. Peccaries, often mistaken for wild boars due to their similar appearance, are fascinating for their complex social structure and unique methods of communication. These animals form highly organized family groups, which can include up to 50 individuals. Communication between them is based on a variety of vocalizations, such as grunts and squeals, as well as an elaborate scent system. Peccaries have scent glands on their feet that release pheromones, which play a crucial role in marking territory and identifying group members. Curry is not a single spice, but rather a diverse blend of spices that varies significantly by region and recipe. Depending on the type of curry, this blend may include turmeric, cumin, coriander, cardamom, and many other spices. In India, for example, curries can be complex and composed of dozens of different spices, while elsewhere, such as in Southeast Asia or the Caribbean, the blend may be simpler and adapted to local flavors. The 7-day week has its roots in ancient Babylon. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a valuable collection of ancient texts discovered in the Qumran caves during the 1940s. Dating from between 250 BC and AD 68, these manuscripts include copies of Old Testament books and other Jewish texts. Their discovery has provided unique insight into the history and religious practice of the time, and has allowed scholars to study the evolution of the biblical text and ancient Jewish beliefs in greater depth. Located in an area of intense geothermal activity, Iceland is famous for its impressive natural phenomena, such as geysers and hot springs. The country lies at the intersection of the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates, which causes remarkable volcanic and geothermal activity. Among its geysers, Strukur is one of the most prominent, known for its periodic eruption every 5 to 10 minutes. During these eruptions, Strukur shoots hot water and steam up to 65.6 feet high, creating an impressive visual spectacle. Cockroaches can live for several weeks without a head, as they have nervous systems distributed throughout their body. However, they will eventually die due to lack of food and water. Japan is famous for its bullet trains, known as Shinkansen, which have transformed rail transport globally. Since their introduction in 1964 with the Tokaido Shinkansen line, these trains have been synonymous with speed and efficiency. Shinkansen can reach speeds of up to 198 miles per hour, allowing travel between distant cities in a significantly reduced time. In addition to their speed, Shinkansen are known for their high punctuality and safety. There are more than 100 species of coffee, but only 2, Arabica and Robusta, are the most commonly grown and consumed around the world. Arabica coffee is known for its smooth and aromatic flavor and accounts for approximately 60% of the world's coffee production. On the other hand, Robusta coffee has a stronger and more bitter taste, with a more robust body and a higher concentration of caffeine compared to Arabica. In addition, it is cheaper to grow and is mainly cultivated in regions of Africa and Asia. Bluefin tuna are known for their impressive migrations, which can reach up to 2,485 miles per year. This majestic fish travels between its breeding grounds in the Mediterranean and its feeding areas in the North Atlantic. These migrations are crucial to their life cycle, allowing them to find food and reproduce in different regions. Parrotfish possess a unique feature in their teeth, Their teeth are fused into a structure that resembles a beak. This specialized design allows them to scrape algae and corals attached to rocks on the seabed. This action is crucial for the health of coral reefs, as it helps control algae growth and maintains the ecological balance of the habitat. Modern wheat has its roots in a wild species known as einkorn, which was cultivated approximately 10,000 years ago in the Middle East. Over the course of millennia, this ancient wheat was domesticated and improved, allowing for the production of more efficient and nutritious varieties. Duct tape, famous for its remarkable versatility and strength, was created during World War II to seal ammunition boxes and protect their contents. This fabric adhesive, originally designed to keep moisture out of boxes and ensure their integrity, has evolved to become an indispensable tool in everyday life. Vanilla, an essential ingredient in numerous desserts, comes from the pods of a tropical orchid known as Vanilla planifolia. The process of obtaining vanilla is meticulous and laborious. The orchid flowers must be pollinated by hand, a process that often requires human intervention in regions where the orchid does not have its natural pollinators. Once pollinated, the pods must be harvested and then fermented and dried for several months. This lengthy process is crucial to developing vanilla's distinctive flavor and aroma, making it one of the most prized and expensive flavors in the food industry. Hamsters have a curious behavior. They store their food in cheeks that can expand up to 3 times the size of their head. This helps them transport food from one place to another, especially in the wild. The Altamira Cave, located in Spain, is famous for its impressive cave paintings that date back approximately 36,000 years. Discovered in the late 19th century, these paintings depict bison and other animals, offering a fascinating window into the earliest forms of human artistic expression. The fighting fish, or Betta splendens, is famous for its aggressive fights in captivity, which gives it its name. In its natural environment, males of this species display intense territorial behavior, fighting each other to establish and defend their dominance. These fights, which often involve displays of bright colors and flashy movements, are a way to mark territory and attract potential mates. Papaya is known for its sweet tropical flavor, but it is also notable for its content of an enzyme called papain. This enzyme has the ability to tenderize meat, making it a popular ingredient in marinades and marinades. In addition to its culinary applications, papain possesses digestive properties that help break down proteins in the digestive system. According to legend, the founding of Rome dates back to 753 BC and is closely linked to the story of the twins Romulus and Remus. Abandoned at birth and left to their own devices, they were rescued and raised by a she-wolf who suckled them. Upon reaching adulthood, the brothers decided to found a new city, but a dispute led Romulus to kill Remus. After this tragic event, Romulus became the first king of Rome, beginning the history of one of the most influential civilizations of antiquity. Dromedaries, often associated with the ability to withstand long journeys through the desert, have only one hump instead of 2. Contrary to popular belief, this hump does not store water, but fat. This fat acts as an energy reserve, which the dromedary can use in times of food shortage. The water that dromedaries consume is stored in their blood and tissues, allowing them to stay hydrated for long periods without constant access to water. Wolves are known for their social nature and their life in packs, which have a well-defined hierarchical structure. Each pack is made up of a group of wolves that cooperate in hunting and raising pups. To maintain group cohesion and coordinate efficiently, wolves use a variety of forms of communication, including howling, body postures, and other behaviors. Howling serves to reinforce bonds between pack members and to locate other members who are separated. Umami is recognized as the 5th fundamental taste, in addition to sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Discovered in Japan in the early 20th century, umami is associated with foods rich in glutamate and nucleotides, such as aged cheese, ripe tomatoes, and meat broth. This flavor is characterized by a sensation of depth and fullness, often described as a savory or delicious taste. The first typewriter, invented in 1868 by Christopher Latham Sholes, was the Sholes and Glidden typewriter. Popularly known as the Remington No. 1, this machine marked a milestone in the history of writing by becoming the first commercially successful typewriter. Its innovative design included a QWERTY keyboard, which is still used on most modern keyboards. During hibernation, bears not only sleep, but also enter a state of very low metabolism. Their heart rate and breathing rate slow significantly, and they do not need to feed for several months. The Foucault pendulum, designed by French physicist Léon Foucault in 1851, is an experimental demonstration that illustrates the spin of the Earth. This device consists of a suspended pendulum that swings freely in a plane, allowing one to observe how the Earth's rotation affects the direction of the pendulum's motion. As the pendulum swings, its plane of swing appears to slowly rotate, visibly evidencing the Earth's rotation. Natural formations known as fairy circles are found on the arid desert plains of Namibia. These circular patterns of vegetation, featuring areas of bare land surrounded by a ring of vegetation, have intrigued scientists and observers for years. The Battle of Stiklestad, fought in Norway in 1030, is a pivotal event in Viking history and is known as the Thousand-Year Battle. This engagement was crucial as it marked the beginning of Christianity in Norway. In the battle, King Olaf II Tryggvason, who was attempting to consolidate Christianity in the country, was defeated by a coalition of pagan Viking leaders. Although Olaf was killed in the battle, his death and subsequent campaigns helped establish Christianity as the dominant religion in Norway. In ancient China, the first emperor Qin Shi Huang ordered the construction of a vast army of terracotta soldiers to guard him in the afterlife. This impressive army, made up of thousands of life-size clay figures, was buried near his tomb in 210 BC. The terracotta soldiers, each with unique details in their clothing and expression, were discovered in 1974 by farmers in Shanxi province. This find is considered one of the most significant archaeological excavations in history and offers a fascinating insight into the grandeur of the Qin Empire and the funerary beliefs of ancient China. Chartres Cathedral, located in the Eure-et-Loire region of France, is a majestic example of the Gothic style and is famous for its extraordinary stained glass windows dating back to the 13th century. Covering over 2,734 square yards of the cathedral, these stained glass windows are remarkable not only for their beauty and complexity, but also for their exceptional state of preservation. Among them, Chartres blue is especially famous. This deep and rare blue pigment, known for its intensity and durability, has been an enigma to experts for centuries. Stalactite and stalagmite formations found in caves such as Carlsbad Caves in New Mexico are often referred to as stone tears because of their unique appearance. These formations are created over thousands of years when mineral-rich water drips from the cave ceiling. As the water evaporates, the minerals are deposited, forming stalactites that hang from the ceiling and stalagmites that grow from the floor. The combination of these mineral deposits can result in structures that look like water droplets frozen in time, creating a stunning and surreal underground landscape. Mimosa pudica, commonly known as the sensitive plant, is famous for its peculiar reaction to touch. When touched, its leaves instantly fold up, a phenomenon known as thigmotropism. This rapid movement is an evolutionary defense strategy designed to deter herbivores. By folding up, the plant reduces its exposed surface area and may appear less attractive to animals that might eat it. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901, is recognized as one of the first mechanical computers in history. Dating back to about 100 BC, this complex bronze artifact was used to calculate astronomical positions and eclipses. Its intricate system of gears and wheels allowed it to predict astronomical events with remarkable accuracy. The mandarin bird, known for its vibrant, multicolored plumage, is one of the most colorful birds in the world. Its splendid design includes shades of orange, green, blue, and black, making it easily recognizable. Native to China and Australia, the mandarin bird is found in small groups in the wild, where they feed on seeds and small insects. Monument Valley, located in the southwestern United States, is famous for its imposing red sandstone rock formations. These formations, which include towers and plateaus, display vibrant colors ranging from deep red to deep orange. The amberjack possesses an amazing ability to change color, an adaptation that allows it to effectively camouflage itself with its natural surroundings. This fish can alter its hue and patterns according to its environment, giving it a notable advantage in protecting itself from predators. The durian, often called the king fruit in Asia, is famous for its unique flavor and pungent smell, which some describe as a mix of onion, cheese, and sulfur. This large, spiny fruit has a creamy, sweet flesh that is prized for its distinctive texture and flavor. However, its strong aroma can be so intense that in some places it is banned in public spaces and hotels. Peacocks are known for their striking feathers, which feature eye-shaped spots. These spots, called ocelli, are not just decorative. They serve an essential defensive function. When the peacock spreads its tail in a majestic display, the ocelli create an illusion of size and complexity that can disorient and frighten predators. During the Nyepi festival in Bali, known as the Day of Silence, the island becomes a place of absolute calm and reflection. On this Balinese Hindu holiday, which marks the beginning of the new year according to the Balinese calendar, all activity on the island comes to a complete stop. Flights are suspended, businesses remain closed, and people stay home in total silence, without turning on lights or making noise. This day is meant for introspection, meditation, and rest. The Nepenthes plant, commonly known as the pitcher plant, is a fascinating carnivorous species that traps insects in its special pitcher-shaped structures. These pitchers, which hang from the plant, are filled with a digestive fluid that attracts and captures insects. Once inside, the insects are trapped and eventually digested by the fluids inside the pitcher. This adaptation allows Nepenthes to obtain additional nutrients that it could not get from the soil alone, making it stand out among carnivorous plants for its ingenious hunting strategy. The Caño Cristalis River in Colombia, nicknamed the River of Five Colors, is famous for its stunning multicolored appearance during certain times of the year. This phenomenon is due to aquatic algae, especially Macarenia clavigera, which change color depending on the amount of water and temperature. Between the months of July and November, the river displays a vibrant show of colors, with shades ranging from red and yellow to green and blue, creating a unique and dazzling natural landscape. The coconut crab, the largest terrestrial arthropod in the world, can reach lengths of up to 3.2 feet. Their impressive size is matched by a remarkably powerful gripping force, capable of cracking coconuts with ease. Native to the Pacific and Indian Ocean islands, these crabs have a sturdy build that allows them to move around on land with agility. Their ability to crack coconuts not only provides them with food, but also allows them access to a source of water and vital nutrients in their natural habitat. Ceropegia woodii, commonly known as string of hearts, is a highly prized houseplant for its distinctive appearance and easy maintenance. Its heart-shaped leaves, which grow in delicate, hanging chains, add a unique decorative touch to any space. Originally from South Africa, this plant is ideal for those looking for a low-care option, as it adapts well to indirect light conditions and requires little watering. Lake Retba, located in Senegal and popularly known as the Pink Lake, is famous for its distinctive pink color. This phenomenon is caused by the high concentration of salt in the water, combined with the presence of a specific algae that produces a red pigment. The intense salinity of the lake gives it a characteristic similar to that of the Dead Sea. It is so salty that it is extremely easy to float in its waters. This lake is not only a visually impressive place, but is also an important resource for salt mining, which has been a traditional activity in the region for centuries. Hurling is a traditional sport of Irish origin that has a history of over 3,000 years. It is played with a wooden stick called a hurley and a small ball known as a sliotar. The aim of the game is to hit the sliotar with the hurley to send it into the opposing team's goal, while preventing the opponent from doing so. The moth, also known as the moon moth, is distinguished by its wings adorned with large spots that resemble owl eyes. This eye design is not just decorative, but an evolved adaptation for defense. The false eyes on its wings serve to confuse predators, creating the illusion of a greater threat than it actually is. When comparing images of the surface of Mars with those of Earth, it can be observed that some regions of the red planet present a desert-like appearance, reminiscent of terrestrial deserts. In particular, Martian areas show characteristics similar to those of the Atacama Desert in Chile, known for its arid landscape and lack of vegetation. The white Bengal tiger, a rare variety of the Bengal tiger, is distinguished by its white fur due to a specific genetic mutation. This mutation, which affects the pigmentation of the skin and fur, is extremely rare in nature. Most white tigers in captivity are offspring of offspring specifically raised in controlled environments to preserve this unique feature. Bouvet Island is one of the most isolated islands in the world, located in the South Atlantic. This small territory, which is part of Norway, is located more than 1,056 miles from the nearest coast and has an area of only 30 square miles. Bouvet is almost completely covered by glaciers, which contributes to its inhospitable and desolate appearance. The long-legged rat, known for its significantly long limbs in proportion to its body, is adapted for life in an arboreal environment. These disproportionate legs allow it to move agilely between branches and climb trees with ease. This adaptation is essential for its survival, as it facilitates access to its food and shelter in the forest canopy. In Florence, Italy, a traditional and fascinating sport called calcio storico is celebrated, which is a unique mix of football, rugby, and wrestling. This ancient game, dating back to the 16th century, is known for its brutal nature and minimal rules. Teams made up of 27 players each face off on a playing field that combines elements of all three sports, allowing for a wide range of physical actions from kicking to fighting. Calcio Storico is played just once a year, during the month of June, in an event that attracts locals and visitors alike, taking place in the historic Piazza Santa Croce. Despite its name, the Red Sea is not actually red. Its name comes from the bloom of algae known as Trichodesmium erythraeum, which under certain conditions can impart a reddish hue to the seawaters. This phenomenon is most common during specific periods of the year when these algae proliferate in large quantities, creating a color that gives the impression that the sea is actually red. Psychologist George A. Miller discovered that the average number of items a person can hold in short-term memory is about 7. This theory is known as the Rule of 7. Glaucus atlanticus, known as the blue dragon, is a small marine mollusk that floats upside down on the surface of the ocean. Despite its delicate and fragile appearance, it is a surprisingly voracious predator. This mollusk feeds on poisonous creatures such as the Portuguese man-of-war and has the ability to store the toxins of its prey. What's fascinating is that the blue dragon uses these toxins to defend itself from its own predators, making it both a beautiful and dangerous creature in the marine realm. The The first text message was sent on December 3, 1992, by Neil Papworth, a 22-year-old engineer. The message simply said "Merry Christmas" and was sent from a computer to a mobile phone. Each zebra has a completely unique stripe pattern, similar to human fingerprints. These stripes not only help to identify them, but also confuse predators as they move in a herd, creating an optical effect that makes it difficult for predators to focus on a single individual. In the desert of Bahrain, in an arid and desolate environment, stands a 400-year-old mesquite tree known as the Tree of Life. Despite its advanced age, it stands alone in a desert landscape with no visible water sources nearby, which has puzzled scientists for years. Their survival in such extreme conditions has sparked numerous theories, from the existence of underground sources of water to unknown mechanisms of adaptation. While some mammals such as flying squirrels can glide, bats are the only mammals capable of sustained flight. Their wings are made up of a thin membrane of skin stretched between their elongated fingers, allowing them to maneuver precisely in the air. The Monopoly board game, which is famous today for its focus on accumulating wealth, was originally designed by Elizabeth Magee in 1904 as the landlord's game. Its intention was to demonstrate the injustices and dangers of economic monopoly and to show how concentrating property in the hands of a few harms the majority. Pistol shrimp are tiny crustaceans known for their special claw, and they have an amazing ability. A pistol shrimp's claw can snap shut with such extreme speed that it creates an air bubble that implodes. This phenomenon creates a shock wave and produces a loud sound, known as the pistol shrimp click, which can stun or even kill its prey. The thunderous noise is so loud that it can sometimes shatter aquarium glass. February has 28 days on the calendar because of an emperor's jealousy. In the Julian calendar, the month of February has only 28 days. 29 in leap years because the Roman Emperor Augustus wanted his month, August, to be as long as July, the month of Julius Caesar. To achieve this, he took a day from February, which was already the shortest month, and added it to August. The first city with 1 million inhabitants was Rome. It reached the figure of 1 million inhabitants in the year 133 BC during the Roman Republic. It was the first city in history to reach this size, reflecting its importance as a political, cultural, and economic center in the ancient world. It was not until the early 19th century that another city, London, reached a similar population. Released in 1927, The Jazz Singer was the first film to combine dialogue and song synchronized with the image on the screen. This groundbreaking film ushered in the era of talkies, forever changing the film industry and leading to the decline of silent films. Invented in 1974 by Hungarian professor Erno Rubik, the Rubik's Cube has become a global puzzle icon. Since its release, more than 350 million cubes have been sold worldwide, making it one of the most popular toys in history. Icelandic is one of the purest languages in Europe and has changed so little in the past 1,000 years that modern Icelanders can read the original Viking sagas without difficulty. Although Big Ben is commonly believed to be the name of London's iconic tower, Big Ben is actually the nickname for the large bell inside the tower. The tower itself is called the Elizabeth Tower, renamed in honor of Queen Elizabeth II in 2012. Big Ben's distinctive chime has become a symbol of London and the United Kingdom in general. Studies have shown that music can influence how we perceive the taste of food. High-pitched sounds tend to enhance sweet flavors, while low-pitched sounds can intensify bitter flavors. The Voynich manuscript, written in an unknown language and alphabet, has puzzled cryptographers and linguists for over a century. Discovered in 1912, the book contains strange illustrations and has been the subject of numerous theories, from being a work of Renaissance art to a book of alchemy. To date, no one has managed to fully decipher its contents. The Atlantic Ocean is widening as the tectonic plates in the middle of the Atlantic are moving apart. This phenomenon occurs at a rate of about 1 inch per year, meaning that the ocean is getting a little wider every year. This process is a part of the cycle of plate tectonics. Marie Curie was the first woman to receive a Nobel Prize in 1903 for her research on radioactivity. Not only was she a pioneer in the field of science, but she also won a second Nobel Prize in 1911 in chemistry for her discovery of radium and polonium, becoming the first person to receive 2 Nobel Prizes in different fields. The Empire State Building in New York has a lighting system that can change colors to commemorate special events and holidays. It can be seen lit up in colors such as red and green for Christmas, pink for Valentine's Day, and white and blue for Independence Day. In some places around the world, such as Mosquito Bay in Puerto Rico, the water glows in the dark due to bioluminescence. This phenomenon is caused by marine microorganisms called dinoflagellates that emit light when disturbed, creating a stunning natural spectacle. Pearls are the only gems that come from a living being. Unlike other gems that are extracted from minerals, pearls form inside the shells of mollusks as a response to an irritation. The substance that forms the pearl is a combination of calcium carbonate and a protein called nacre, which builds up in layers around the irritant. The term Vatican City comes from the Vatican Hill, Mons Vaticanus, in Rome. Although it is the smallest independent state in the world, the name refers to the geographic location rather than a city in the traditional sense. The first alarm clocks, invented in the 19th century, were designed to ring only at 4 a.m. This is because, back then, most people got up early for work. It wasn't until later that alarm clocks with more flexible settings were developed. The oldest known board game, Senet, was played in ancient Egypt around 3100 BC. This strategy game, played on a board with squares, was used not only for entertainment, but also in religious and ceremonial rituals, reflecting the importance of gambling in Egyptian culture. The total amount of concrete used in the world is estimated to exceed the total weight of the human population. This is because concrete is one of the most commonly used building materials in modern infrastructure. From buildings to roads, penguins have knees, but you can't see them because they are hidden beneath their feathers and compact bones. The knees are hidden inside their bodies, and what looks like their legs is actually part of their thigh and hip bones. The Cave of Crystals in Chihuahua, Mexico, has temperatures of up to 136 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity close to 100%. The huge selenite crystal formations in the cave are some of the largest and heaviest ever found. What information surprised you the most? Leave your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to give it a like for more interesting facts.